Okay, good morning or afternoon or evening, depending on where you are, to anybody who's watching this webinar or is watching it subsequently on the recording. My name is Michael Grant, and I'm just going to spend a couple of minutes talking about Phocas, who we are, what is Phocas, who uses Phocas, and why they use it. I'm then going to be handing over to my colleague Craig Medlin, who will be taking you through the actual presentation of Phocas. At the end of the session, we'll have a Q&A. But throughout the session, at any point in the session, if you have any questions, do feel free to use the question box on the right-hand side of your screen to put any questions in there, and we'll come back to them and we'll answer them either as we go along or later in the presentation. All right, so just by way of introduction, as I mentioned, I've got Craig Medlin on the line. Craig will be taking you through the presentation later on. And Craig is our technical sales manager. I'm Mike Grant. I'm the sales director for Phocas. So just to give you some background to what Phocas is all about, it's actually, I always love to tell people this, it's actually designed in Australia, designed in Orange in New South Wales. And today there's something like 1,300 customers all around the world who are using Phocas. So we've got roughly 400 customers in Australia, about 500 in the UK and Europe, and we're growing very, very fast in the USA. So it really is a true success story. The background of Phocas is that as you'll see in a moment, it's a business intelligence tool for analyzing data from multiple sources. But really the strength of Phocas is in its simplicity and speed. And that's really what differentiates Phocas from any other tools you might have seen in the past. Craig, do you mind just moving on to the next screen? Sorry about that. Okay, so as I was just saying, simplicity is really the key word to Phocas. And it's very much an end-user tool. By that, I mean it's used by people actually in the business. So in our customers, you'll find it's used by everybody from the CEO right through to the national sales manager, sales director, VP of sales, and also to sales reps on the road who need access to data, but they need it quickly. And they need to be able to access it in a way that makes it easy for them. And that's exactly what Phocas does. Most of our customers tend to be sales-driven organizations that have lots of customers, lots of products. They've got a number of salespeople. So they've got quite a lot of data lying around. And they want to use that data to be able to analyze that data and to understand not just what they're selling to their customers, because typically they're getting that sort of information from reports and from existing systems, but to be able to understand what they're not selling to their customers and where they're missing out on opportunities and how their products are performing and how their people are performing, how their promotions are performing, and to get that information there and then without having to ask somebody else to go and generate a report for them. And that's really what Phocas is all about. Again, we'll be showing that to you in a moment. Phocas is browser-based. What that means is, in essence, is that it will run on any connected device, a laptop, an iPad, a tablet, anytime, anywhere. And it'll enable you to slice and dice your data by any criteria or any category. So typically, if you've got customers, you may well categorize those customers. If you've got products, you may categorize them. And you want to be able to slice and dice and drill down, understand who's buying those products, who's not buying those products, how your salespeople are doing, what they're selling, and what they're not selling. To get Phocas up and running is very fast. Typically, an implementation takes around 4 to 5 weeks. And that's especially holds for Pronto users. We have a huge amount of experience and domain knowledge implementing Phocas for Pronto users to the point where what we're going to show you today could in fact be delivered in a matter of days. Normally these things take a bit longer than that, but it really is very simple to deliver Phocas for Pronto users. Within Phocas, there's a tool we call it the designer tool. We probably won't have time to go through that today, but I just wanted to mention that because it does make it very easy for our customers to, once they have Phocas, to bring in additional data sources, make changes within Phocas, and they can do all of that for themselves without having to come back to Phocas to do that for them. So whereas we're always willing to make changes for you, we actually give you the power, we empower you to do that for yourself. Phocas will take data from multiple data streams. What I mean by that is with nearly all of our customers, they're taking data from their ERP system, whether it be Pronto or SAP or one of probably about 60 or 70 different ERP systems. But they usually have data in other areas. So a lot of our customers will have spreadsheets where they may hold budgets in there. They may be selling into a chain of retail stores or into distributors, and they may be getting point-of-sale data back from those organizations, and they'll be analyzing that in Phocas as well. Most of our customers also will may have operations in other countries, and they may be doing business in other currencies. So they want to get a consolidated view of their business or their businesses and their currencies, and better look at that and slice and dice that any way they want. And again, Phocas gives them that capability. Finally, as we're particularly talking today about customers who use Pronto, we have something approaching almost 100 customers who use Pronto. So they represent in Australia about 25% of our customer base. And on the next slide, we'll just have a quick look at some of those Pronto customers. Craig, can we go to the next slide? Thank you. So as you can see there, you probably recognise some of those brands. Quite a range of customers. Customers in the automotive space, in stationery, in retail, all sorts of businesses. All of these using Pronto. A lot of them also having the Pronto Cognos products as well. But in sales and marketing and in many other areas of the organisation, they're using Phocas. It's quite simply because it's much easier to use and much faster to use than any other tool. Also, just to give you an idea of the range of our customers, not just with Pronto customers, but also using other systems. You can see there that this is just a cross-section of our customers in Australia. And we have customers in automotive, office products, building and hardware, food and drink, electrical, safety. Doesn't really matter what business you're in. It's really about being sales-driven and wanting to use your data to drive your business. One thing I should mention is that whereas most of our customers use Phocas or start using Phocas to analyze sales performance and people performance, etc., once they have Phocas and they see the value and the speed and simplicity of Phocas, they'll then go on to implement it for purchasing, stock or inventory control, analyzing finance, general ledger, and also accounts receivable, accounts payable, activities analysis, so getting data out of their CRM systems and analyzing how often they're calling on their customers, what their win ratios are, basically everything to do with activity in the business. So that kind of gives you a bit of background to Phocas. So I'm going to hand over to Craig now to take you through the main presentation. And as I say, if you have any questions as we go through the presentation, just feel free to enter those in the box on the right-hand side. Craig, over to you, mate.
No worries. No worries. Thanks, Mike. As Mike said, if you do have questions, please enter them into the questions box, and we'll do our best to answer those for you. Today we're going to be looking at a sales database, really primarily used by the sales and marketing people in the organisation. As Mike said, Phocas can be used for many parts of the organisation, not just sales, and we'll touch on that very briefly towards the end. So when we first log into sales, we're presented with this screen here, where at a summary level, we're given a nice kind of high-level view of our business. We can see what our sales are broken down by month over the last 12 months, how that compares to the previous 12 months, and what are the variances. Are we doing better or are we doing worse? The amount of data we're looking at, we can change whenever we want in Phocas. So we can have as many predefined periods as we want, as well as being able to select any more custom or a particular period that we might be interested in. It doesn't just have to be the calendar periods. If you're using fiscal periods or you have something a bit more unique to your business, that can all be brought into Phocas. But to start using Phocas, we simply have this list of dimensions down the left here. These are the different analysis points, the different ways of slicing and dicing our data. This list here would represent your business. It would be using common names that you have in Pronto, for example. so the end user can really easily relate to what they're actually looking at. So if I click on customer type, for example, I can now see those same sales figures that we were just looking at, but now it's actually broken down into my customer type. So I can break the same data by my product classes simply by clicking on product class. Or maybe I'm interested in seeing the same data, so the same rolling 12 months, but I actually want to compare it to last year. So I want to bring in that this year versus last year variance that we're looking at on the summary screen. So here we can see that overall we're actually performing quite well, but we do have some areas of concern. And if I want to concentrate on my biggest dollar variance here, more questions about that decline. So my next question might actually be, well, show me by subclass where that decline is actually occurring. And it turns out that we have a significant problem in one of our product classes, LEDs, which I can then drill into and start to ask more questions. Maybe I want to look at this by customer type. I can see that there's falls really across the board, but maybe it's just IT and healthcare that we're going to concentrate on. And we want to see who the reps are that are experiencing these falls. These are all sortable columns, so we can sort best to worst and worst to best. So we can see all of these reps and where their actual falls are. We can also jump in straight to a customer level as well, so we can see the individual customers, see who's actually having the biggest problems with LED sales this year compared to last. So very quickly and very easily, you can use the Phocas product to really unearth missed opportunities within your business where there might be a decline or a customer that stopped buying. It makes it very quick and very easy. Something else that Phocas does really well is making it easy to share this information with those that need to see it. So this list of customers here, we've got 508 customers that we're looking at the moment. We might want to save this particular view and share it with our reps. But when our reps log in, we only want them to see the customers that they look after. We only want them to see what's important to them. We don't want them spending time worrying about other sales reps' customers, just theirs. So as opposed to saving the report 5 or 10 times, depending on the number of reps, and limiting it to each of those salespeople, we can simply save the report once, share it with all the reps, and the security inside Phocas will automatically limit that particular user to only see the data relevant to them, making it very quick and very easy to slice and dice and understand what's going on with their customers, so they can be much more productive. But Phocas can be more than just slicing and dicing and having a look at where there might be some people in decline, or where used to really unearth opportunities, find those missed opportunities in your business. A scenario might be that you have you class your customers into their industry. So like I have here, and I might be interested in a particular industry. So my IT customers in this case, and I want to see who they all are. So simply select the customer type, come to my ship to, and I can see I've just got over 300 customers in this particular space. So if I highlight all these guys, the next question I want to ask is, out of these customers, and these are customers that have bought something from me in the last 12 months, so I'm considering them an active customer, what have they bought? Because normally for a particular industry, there are certain core range products or particular products that you know that people in that industry should be buying from you. So you can come into Phocas and select what those core products might be. I'm just making some random selections in my case. But we can actually qualify this and say, well, of my active customers in this industry, how many buy these products? So I can select them, come back to my list of customers, and I can see just over 100 of the original 303 are actually buying those core range products. So that means we've got a lot of active customers not buying what we want them to buy. So who are they? So very quickly, at the click of a button, we can flip this over and say, show me all the active customers not buying the products I want them to buy. What additional details do I need to know about them? This can be coming from Pronto, or as Mike said earlier, you might have data coming from other systems. Maybe it's a CRM system, maybe it's an Excel spreadsheet where you've got some additional contact details for the customer. They can all be brought into Phocas, and at the click of a button, I can export this data to use for our marketing team, or maybe push into like MailChimp or something like that, where we can actually target these customers about these core range products. And it doesn't have to just be core range products. You might actually want to select you might be pushing a new product into a particular market, or even to all your customers, and you only want to market to those that haven't started buying it. Phocas is going to make it very easy to identify who is buying it and who is not buying it very, very quickly. If I stick with the opportunity analysis theme with Phocas, we can also use Phocas to look for the classic complementary sales. So if they buy the table from you, if you're in furniture, you want to make sure that they buy the chairs. If you're in selling homewares or plumbing, you might want to say if they buy this particular sink, they should buy this particular tap from me as well. So you're really looking for products that need to go out the door together. In my case, LEDs and transformers are complementary. If they buy the transformer from me, I want them to buy the LED as well. So I can select both of these product classes and simply click on this matrix button up the top here. And what you'll see is they become headers across the top, essentially just creating a very quick and simple pivot. So by pivoting those, I can come to my list of customers and see how much they've spent in both of those product groups. So straight away we can see what the sales by customer is of those two product groups. But the question I'm actually asking is, I'm looking for instances where LED lights have not been sold, but a transformer has. And to do that more accurately, I need to do this using quantity, because these products have a one-to-one relationship, but the value of the two products aren't overly comparable. So simply by changing my sort order here, flip it over so we can start to see instances where the transformer has been sold, like so, but the LED hasn't. So we can see we might not be too concerned where it's 1 unit or even 2, but 6 units is a concern, or 4 units is a concern. So someone here brought 28 transformers and not a single LED from me. That is a concern, that is a problem, there is a missed opportunity. So we can then drill a little, we can roll this still up into our sales reps and understand which reps I maybe need to talk to about this, and say, show me the reps where they're selling a lot of product at the wrong mix. So I can now see reps where they've got a high number of quantity sold, but not at a 50-50 split. Making it very quick and very easy to identify missed opportunities. And the great thing with this is this can be used to really identify that hunch. You might have a hunch that that something isn't quite right in your business. Maybe it is complementary products, or maybe it's you've got a series of customers that aren't buying what you expect them to buy from you. So you can compare them against each other using this matrix feature very quickly and very easily. And everything I've shown you so far, all the queries and slice and dice, you don't have to always consume it in that grid style or in that analytic style view. Everything in Phocas can be visualized very easily. So a lot of the queries that we've been looking at are here. So we can see what our sales variance is, what our sales look like, product performance, what our reps are up to this period compared to last, where our missed opportunities might be, like we just did, where our margin comes from, even things like budget, how are our reps going against budget. And as Mike said earlier, those budgets normally are in a spreadsheet. Phocas makes it very easy to upload that spreadsheet into Phocas and compare it to your Pronto data at any level. Before we conclude though, I just wanted to also show you quickly a slightly different solution in Phocas besides just the sales analysis, which is our purchasing or purchasing sales and stock solution. Just to show you that once you know how to use Phocas, using it, the tool for any other types of data like purchasing data is very easy. The product works exactly the same way. As opposed to having customers, we're doing more supplier analysis, and as opposed to just sales analysis, we've got a bunch of different measures in here so we can be measuring our inventory, our purchasing and our sales all together. The way you use Phocas is exactly the same way. You're just analysing a different set of data.
Thanks for that, Craig. Just before we finish off, there's been a couple of questions that have come through, so I just wanted, I might just pass these back to you to answer. Somebody's just asked about the implementation process, and in particular for Pronto customers. Basically, what is the process? I'll just add to that before you answer that. With the vast majority of our customers, when we do an implementation, especially for Pronto users, it's typically done on a fixed cost basis because we've done it so many times. We think we know exactly what you want, especially if you're looking at a sales-based database. So we do undertake the work on a fixed cost basis. And as I said earlier on, it's normally a very fast project. You go to WO, typically around 4 to 5 weeks. Craig, back to you.
Okay, so just to answer the question on more in particular for Pronto, what's actually involved, it is a fairly hands-off process for you guys. As we've mentioned a number of times, we've worked with Pronto a lot. We have a lot of Pronto customers, and over that time, we've developed a easy way to extract the data using a 4GL application that's put into Pronto that extracts all the data, all the common data that we need. That being said, that can still be tailored and customized if you have particular customizations in your Pronto instance that are not standard. So we will always make sure we have the data that you need to use Phocas successfully. And so you will always get what you need, but because we've done it so many times and we've got rather good at getting the data out of Pronto, the implementation time is very low, and the actual involvement for you guys is quite light.
Thanks, Craig. One more question that's come through. Actually, this is a good question. Does Phocas use the Pronto security, or does it have its own security? I might just add before you answer that question, I think we should emphasize that within Phocas there is a very, very granular security model that allows you, when I say you, the customer, to control the data the end user sees very tightly. So, a person in a particular individual in a particular place, territory, whatever, may only see his customers, may or may not see, for instance, margins. You have total control over that. But Craig, do we use the Pronto security or
no? We do use our own because Pronto is, while a major system that we use, we are connecting to many systems, and because we can be pulling data from multiple locations, we can't simply just rely on one system to tell us what we should limit. So to be as absolutely granular as Mike's mentioning there, we have our own security model based on the data that is loaded into Phocas. So it's not necessarily just profile based. You can control your data to an individual. So it is very very granular.
It will give you significantly more control over your data. I suspect that
exactly right.
The Prontos. Yeah. All right.
Correct.
Thank you for that. Just sort of moving on. We've almost finished the webinar. Thank you for attending and watching the webinar. I'll just finish off with some information from a survey that was recently published by BARC. I don't know, some of you may not have come across BARC before, but BARC are the publishers of an annual report or survey on business intelligence tools. And they just released their latest 2006 survey just literally a few weeks ago. In that survey, there were over 3,000 responses by users of 37 different BI software tools or products. And I'm very pleased to say that Phocas was ranked number 1 in 16 peer groups and a leader in 24 peer groups. And some of the areas where we actually were ranked number 1 included the ones that you want to be ranked in, that is product satisfaction, recommendation of product, customer experience, and customer satisfaction. And it really is true that if you pick up the phone and speak to any of our customers, I think you'll find they'll tell you they don't like the product, they love the product. And I encourage you to do that. If you know any Phocas customers, please do that. If you don't and you want to, just get in contact with us and we'll give you some people to call. So just a few charts here just to show or compare Phocas against, in particular against Cognos, which I guess is for Pronto users is the product they will be comparing Phocas with. First and foremost, I think where we lead is the user experience. The Phocas is much easier and faster to use. But also, if you look in front of you, it's much faster to roll out Phocas. We do most implementations, as I mentioned before, on a fixed cost basis. So nearly all the implementations are completed within budget. They're also completed on time. And we're also very highly rated for our support. Again, I have to say our customers love us, not just for the product, but for the support behind the product. All right. Thank you once again for your time. If anybody has any questions, do feel free to get in contact with us. Drop an email to myself, michael.grant@phocassoftware.com, or to craig.medlin@phocassoftware.com. Any technical questions, probably best sent to Craig. Any questions about commercials, probably best sent to me. All right, well, thank you very much for your time, and good morning or afternoon or evening to whatever the time is where you're watching this. And we look forward to speaking to you again in the future. Thank you.